we really want that snack bar area to function for golf outings and just daily golf. But it's an opportunity for our golf committee to work with the MCPC and the staff to put together a new snack bar area at Heatherhurst. In fact, some of us are going Tuesday down to Tellico. They built a brand new restaurant and pro shop at Toqua Golf Club, and we're going to go down and look at that just as another example of what's possible. Druid Hills Golf Complex design. We are looking at the entire Druid Hills golf area, talking about the current Legends building, the tennis courts, the maintenance building, and what do we want to do there. The thought process is we want to replace the building and put in a new pro shop and snack bar area. We're talking about maybe a golf training center over there. We're talking about a possibility of having a short course for practice and training, and then renovating the maintenance building as well. So it's a pretty big project. And so we're going to bring Big Man in that helped us with the racket center and help us start that design concept in 2021. And then we'll see where we go. Whether we start it in 22, 23, 24, I don't know yet. We're just going to have to work our way through that. And so you end up there with all those totals. We're going to spend about $2 million this year, or next year, I'm sorry, on all those. Now, the one thing you see down here is there's a Stonehenge balloon payment, and I'll talk about that. We have a payment due of $1 million in September of 2022. And we got to decide whether if you remember, in 2017, we refinanced the Stonehenge loan for 5 years. So 5 years is here pretty soon. And so we're going to have to decide what we want to do with that. And I'll refer you back to, if you remember, the $3 million of operating cash we had. In that operating cash, there's $500,000 of reserve. We believe if, in fact, we end up with $3 million of operating cash, we will actually move more money into that reserve, and we will actually consider paying this off early in 21. And if we do that, we can save ourselves about $130,000 of interest by paying that off early. But in my mind, at least, we've got to get through 2020 and find out where we actually end up at the end of the year before we make that decision. Here's projects that we're talking about and under consideration when the board was meeting from July through September. These were all topics, and St. George Marina building, we're going to have to do something with that here in the next few years. Druid Hills, I talked about, new clubhouse, short game area, maintenance facility. And then we've got the Heatherhurst Bray irrigation and cart path systems. When you talk about irrigation systems on Heatherhurst Bray, we're talking $1 million, $1.5 million. It's a big project if you're going to renovate and upgrade those irrigation systems. But you've got to do it. If you know anything about golf, you cannot, you've got to have irrigation for the golf course, otherwise it costs you dearly. So we're going to take a look at that as well. Here's our capital cash flow. Here's the projection. Beginning cash reserve was $2 million. We're going to end up, we think, about $1.6 million at the end of 2020 with capital. And remember, capital and operations are separate, and they can't, you can take operations and use it for capital. You can't take capital and use it for operations. That's the way the CNRs are written. So then you take a look at what we're going to do in 21. We're going to have a POA and amenities capital revenue of about $3 million in 21. We've got the principal on our long-term debt, and that includes the Stonehenge loan and this building. That's the debt we have currently, is this building and Stonehenge, and that's the principal on that. Recurring capital that I went through is about $800,000. The POA capital is about $900,000. The master plan projects are $1.8 million. Master plan projects for POA is $240,000. So total capital expenditures, we think in 21 will be $4 million. And so the net of that is minus $1 million, but we had capital reserve, beginning capital here of $1.5 million, so you add that in, and net revenue over expenses is $1 million. So we end up, we think, at the end of next year with about $500,000 of capital funds at the end of the year after we do all of that. Now think about that. That's pretty amazing to do all those kind of projects, and we don't need to borrow any money to do it. Now, having said that, going forward, we're going to see where we get to, because the Druid Hills project, like I said, is a big project, and there's others out there. Here's our debt service. A Stonehenge loan, the community center loan, this is at 4.29, 3.95. Like I said, one of the options is for us to pay off the loan. Projected balances is $1.2 million in Stonehenge at the end of this year. If we continue to make payments in 21, the ending balance would be about $1.1 million. Again, that matures in September of 22. We've got to either refinance it or pay it off. The community center, the projected balance this year is $308. Next year is $77,000, and that's because it ends in May of 22. And so one of the things we're going to look at is paying it off. We paid off the fiber optic loan in February of 2020. And one of the things I like to look at is our debt service to capital income. And think about that as if you have a mortgage, what percent of that is of your income? That's kind of what this is for us. So we take a ratio, and the board has said we don't want to borrow any more money than 20% of our capital income. That's our upper limit. Well, in 2018, we were at 16%. 2019, we were at 15%. And in 2020, we're sitting at under 12% of capital of debt to capital income. If we pay off the Stonehenge loan in 21, this number will drop to like, I don't know, I didn't do the math, Denise, but it's like 4%, 3%, really low. In other words, we're in great shape from a financial standpoint. The other thing is we currently have a $5 million line of credit that goes through October 22. You might ask, why do you have that? Well, I would ask you, do you have a credit card? Because if you have a credit card, you have a line of credit. You may not use your credit card, but if you had something dramatic happen, suspect your credit card limit is probably $2,500 or $3,000, whatever it is, that's your line of credit. We have a $500,000 or $5 million line of credit. If something dramatic were to happen, I think we're in great cash position, but if something dramatic were to happen, we can go borrow that money. It's already sitting there for us to do. We haven't done it. It's been there for several years. We haven't borrowed against it, and I don't think we will. But if we had to, it's there to be borrowed. And so we're really in great financial shape from a cash standpoint, and we're in great financial shape from a debt standpoint. And again, we've got to, right after the first of the year, the board has some critical decisions to make. Again, one of those is, do you want to pay off the Stonehenge loan now, or do you want to continue payments and refinance it when it comes due in 22? Right now we can pay for all the projects we have on that list through 21, but as we develop the projects going forward in 22, 23, and 24, we will not have the cash to do that, so we will need to borrow some money, and so we're going to work on that. Now we'll talk about amenity fees and assessments. Amenity fees, they've been increased across the board by about 4%. That price increase is comparatively small compared with our competitors. We're trying to keep our fees increases down as low as we can. We do have rising costs in labor and benefits, and so just like you all, I don't know about you, but I know my grocery bill has gone up, and it wasn't anything I did. I'm not eating any better. It just is what it is. Monthly assessments, currently it's $66 for a home. We're going to increase that by $4. And keep in mind that $4, $3 of that goes into operations and $1 of that goes into capital. So starting in 2021, the home assessments are $70. An A-tier lot's $70, a B-tier lot's $59.50, and a C-tier lot's $45.50. And again, 75% of that goes to operations, 25% goes to capital. The other fees that we pay are sanitation and sewer. The sanitation fee of $8, there's $1 in of that goes towards an account to buy a new truck. And so we're trying to accumulate the money so when we get there we can buy the truck because we have the cash already in reserve. Sewer has been $30. It will continue to be $30. That's something we will evaluate once we understand what the 10-year plan is going to require and see where we are with that. But for now, we're satisfied that $30 is adequate for sewer. So I want to talk about some increased expenses. And I'm going to, the first one is, I told you, one of our biggest costs is labor. And we're actually raising the wage pool 5% this year. In the past, we've raised it 3%, and I'm going to explain why we went from 3 to 5 here in a moment. But that equates to $335,000. Our insurances are increasing, liability kind of insurances, health insurances. They're going up $195,000. Our contract with the road mowers, because of Peavine Road, has gone up $20,000. And then there's others which are just across the board, and departments across the board, costs are going up. So you add that up, and it's $720,000 of increased expenses for us in operations. Now, comparing that to our income, we get $3 in operating assessments. That's going to equate to $325,395. So the $3 increase in operations is that much. Then the amenity fee, the amenity revenue that I talked about earlier of raising amenity fees generates another $145,000. So we're actually going to realize a $470,000 increase in revenue. But go back to the previous slide, our cost went up $720,000. So if you take the $250,000 difference between the cost increases and the revenue, we're going to actually make that up through, managed through operational efficiencies. All of the departments are managing their departments in a more efficient fashion, and we're actually going to be able to generate $250,000 through those efficiencies. Just as a comment, that $250,000 represents over another $2 of assessment if that's what we wanted to do. That's not what we're doing. We didn't think that was right. We thought that, okay, we've got additional expenses which are here. Don't think that the community ought to bear all of that, and so we are going to pick up a lot of that through efficiencies in the operations itself. I think that's, again, a tremendous story for the staff here who is managing their budgets. Now, let me talk about the wage increase. The board asked our HR manager, Amber, to go through and do a wage study. Part of our problem is we have issues with maintaining staff in critical areas. People leave here to go get better pay. And so we said, hey, let's do a wage study and find out. Well, in fact, our wage scale is not only below the Tennessee kind of wage scale, it's also below the Crossville, Cumberland County wage scale on average. Now, I'm talking about salaried, full-time and part-time employees, not salaried, full-time, part-time employees. So we said we've got to raise the wage scale if we're going to be able to maintain good employees, to do good services, to maintain the facilities, and provide services for us as residents. And so, again, here's the 3% we typically do. 1.5% of that is cost of living. If you're on Social Security like I am, Social Security told you that cost of living was 1.3%. And so that's pretty close. We think that a lot of our employees deserve a merit increase. They're doing better work, they deserve a raise. And so 1.5% of this 5% is merit. And then the 2% is actually raising the wage scale on average. Not every position wage scale will get raised, but those critical positions and those positions that we want to ensure long-term employment, keeping somebody here long-term to make sure our services and our maintenance here and our operations are efficient. And that's where that 5% comes from. And so it's a 2% addition on to the 3% we have typically done. And again, that's to try to pay folks what the area are being paid for, you name it, operators, maintenance, electricians, mechanics, the whole 9 yards. And so we're trying to ensure that we have good employees by paying them a proper wage. This is going to be tough to read. Here's where your $70 go by dollars. The largest two pieces are general and administrative expenses. $19.53 of your $70 next year will go towards that. Community maintenance, $16.86 of your $70 goes to community maintenance. So that's about half of the whole thing. And then you've got the CCC, this building, along with $7.42. Marinas are 73 cents. The racket sports is $4. Golf is $3.85. F&B is $5.18. Again, that's larger than it probably needs to be, but that's because we in fact planned on not having a full restaurant to run. And then down here is one that we created differently this year, and I decided to call it Enhanced Community Services. And to me, the enhanced community services that we pay for are the fire department, the police department, and road paving. Those are services that the county provides, but we believe that we need to have better police service, better security, better fire department, better response on emergencies, and better roads. And so that represents, of your $70, $11.81 a month for what I term as enhanced community services. I think that's a significant. People ask us about that all the time, and so I thought, let's just carve it out and say what it is. I'll just say, for me, I'm happy to pay $11.81 to have the security we have the fire department we have, and have the roads continue to get paved here and maintained. And so that's where your $70 is gone. There's also another fee called an amenity reserve fee. That fee is paid when you buy a home here. And so last year was $990. We increased that by the construction index is what we increased that by. And so it's going up $30. So if somebody comes in and buys a home next year, they will pay us $1,020 for the amenity reserve fee, and that is used for capital projects. It's just what it says. It's amenity reserve, so that when we enhance a amenity we have, build a new amenity, expand something, that money is there for us to do that with. Now, all of this is going to be on the website, so you don't have to take pictures of it. Now, we did not increase the lot fees. We only increased the home fees. Okay. I'm willing to take questions from anybody that has them. If I can't answer them, I'll find somebody in this room that will. If you have a question, I ask you to go to a microphone because we're recording this, and we'd like to have everybody hear your question that watches it on the web as well. If you could state your name and go ahead with your question.
My name is Steve Ford, and my question is, why are we raising our dues 6% when you told us that the increases are only 4%?
Which 4% are you discussing? I think you're talking about. You
said the amenities are costing us 4% more.
No, that's an amenity fee increase. For instance, we're raising the golf fee $1 a round. We're raising marina fees. We're raising racket hour fees. That 4% is how much we raised the usage of the amenities fees.
Oh, you didn't say that all those were being raised. Okay. So besides that 4% increase, we're also getting a 6% increase in our dues.
Yeah, the assessment revenue is,
right.
Is that, and yes, that's correct. Yes, sir. You state your name and...
Nico Sergio?
Yes, sir.
How many Fairfield Glade lots are not paying POA fees?
That I don't have the answer to. Does anybody here know how many POA lots are not paying their dues?
POA lots, are you including what the county? I'm sorry, I need a microphone down.
You can go up there.
I would, yeah, a total figure. County, the ones that the Glade owns, and then how many other people are not paying their POA fees?
We have roughly about 2,000 lots. No, 2,000 lots is just ours. I would say it's closer to 4.
The county has about...
4,000, sorry.
The county has about 1,000, right?
They have 1,000.
We have 2,000.
And then there's...
Then there's others that aren't paying.
So it's about 4,000 lots are not paying POA fees.
Am I right? And are revoked are...
Probably closer to 5.
5.
5,000.
And the majority of those, I would guess, are C lots. Most of those are C lots.
Bs and Cs.
Is the board taking any action to try to sell those lots or do something? So that's a major loss of income for us, and we keep raising fees every year. And if we're losing POA fees on 5,000 lots, that's a lot of money for us.
It is, and we are working right now with the county on coming up an agreement on their lots. We try to sell our lots as well, and in fact, there is a board lot committee of which I'm on, and we are going to take a holistic look at that and see what we want to do and what our plan is long-term on handling those lots. But there are a lot of people here that just literally walk away. I mean, they don't live here. They live in Ohio and wherever, and they quit paying dues, and they just walk away. And so we end up taking those lots back. How many do we take back? Pretty much a year, Denise.
We're running over 100.
Yeah.
100. And I will give you a piece of news, though. The county is starting to have movement, and they are selling lots, which will turn those back into dues-paying lots. So
The county is only selling about 4 or 5 lots a month, so it's not that many.
They sold 9 last month. Was it 9, the count, I think?
Not sure.
I got a list from them. There's more movement than we've seen before. For a long time, we didn't see any movement. And so I think 3 months in a row now, they've sold lots.
Okay. Thank you.
My name is Charles Wilson. I have 2 questions. One, Bruce, on slide 10, it had wages and benefits saved were $750,000. Can you break that out into how much is one-time savings and how much is recurring savings?
Let me get back to that. Whoop, went the other way. It's this way. I don't know where it is. I lost the slide.
It's yeah.
Go ahead, Denise.
I was going to say most of that savings is a permanent savings, not so much a recurring savings, and a lot of that came from during COVID when we were shut down. There was not a lot of seasonal people working, so we saved that. If they were on, we did have some savings and benefits too, which would have been taxes and other things that we did not have to pay. We will next year, if things go well and we don't have a COVID problem, then we will go back to normal, and that savings that you're seeing now will disappear.
Okay, so virtually none of it was a recurring saving.
It won't be recurring. It's permanent for what we've saved this year.
Yeah, but it won't be next year or the year after.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. My next question was, regardless of what you think, where your positions lie, there is a chance next year that we could have a recurrence of what we had this year. We could see another March, April, May, June, like we did last year.
Right.
Or like we did this year. If we do, what do you see as the most likely budgetary